What is up, winning team? Hello and welcome to part 6 of our series, The Misogyny in Religion. Today we are moving on to the next prompt. If you guys don't know what this is about, there's a whole playlist in the description box with an introduction video that explains it all. But basically, a bunch of ladies came together on a channel called Cults to Consciousness to discuss their experiences from different religious cults, from Mormonism to Islam to Christianity to Hasidic Judaism to Mennonite Amish, all these different things. Go and check out the intro for the info. But we're going to go straight into the next prompt, which they discussed, and just keep going with the flow. The prompt was, what is it like when you join? What was it like when you joined? How were they able to get you to quiet your intuition? So you're ignoring the red flags, if they were successful with that. Now, I want to first of all start off by saying, I actually love the questions this lady asked on this channel. I can't remember her name. It was quite confusing because there's so many different names, so many different religions. I was trying to at least just remember who was which, who came from which, more than anything. So when they were speaking, I knew who was speaking about what. But yeah, really good video though. So I do recommend you guys go and check her out. And the reason why I found this fascinating is because one thing I've definitely learned, also, you know, coming from an extremely religious background and just things, is that I also was very much ignoring my intuition a lot. There's a lot of things I felt super early on, like as a kid, that I thought were off. And now that I'm looking at it, it's so funny how I'm figuring out that my intuition was right all along. And honestly, as women, this is one of those things that, you know, I think is attacked on purpose, because obviously if you're dealing in a situation, intuition isn't something that is concrete evidence. And that's why I find that hard even on my channel, because a lot of the conclusions I come to, people wonder how I knew ahead of time. And with the no information, I'm not even there. And I'm like, I just had a sense, like I could just sense something. And it doesn't make sense. And there's no point in even saying anything in a lot of cases, because it's going to be like, well, how did you know? And it's like, I just had the feeling. And obviously, because it's just a feeling, it's just your intuition. It's kind of like, and also as women, let's talk about the misogyny element. You know, a lot of times we are very much villainized for our feelings. You know, God gave us them to us as a superpower to use so that we have intuition, so that we get the premonition that, oh, something's about to happen. Don't do this, or maybe don't do that, or don't trust that person, don't do whatever. You know, we have all these things. We have all these premonitions of things, and God gave us feelings for a reason. And I do want to say that it is really sickening how sometimes, you know, I feel that some men in the world are so quick to villainize us having feelings. Actually, it's supposed to be our superpower. And actually hearing sometimes how men speak about that makes me feel really heartbroken. And like, I never want to trust any man ever, because I'm like, listen, that is a part of my superpower. Like, you guys want to know, people be like, you're so wise. Yeah, because I actually have leaned into my intuition a lot of times when it didn't make sense to anybody. And that's actually the story of my life, you know. So I've experienced what these ladies have, not just from men, but just from, you know, religion as a whole, of like people kind of giving these things that you might be seeing certain red flags, but you're kind of having your intuition being talked out of your intuition, basically. And that's one of the things I told myself that I'm leaving in 2024 anyway. I was talking about this in another video. I'm leaving second guessing my intuition in 2024. Now, even if I look like the craziest crackhead in the room, I don't even care. But yeah, let's go into some of the examples that the ladies gave here. She said through books from their publishing companies, from homeschooling. So that's how she actually got into them, how she found out about them, from their publishing books. And then she talks about experiencing, and here we go, gaslighting and love bombing, where the church is the narcissist and the members are flying monkeys. Now, you guys have seen that I uploaded a video about flying monkeys by Dr. Ramani, and she is very much an incredible lady who does lots of interesting videos about narcissism. And I really want to delve into that concept here for a moment, actually, because I didn't know what flying monkeys were. And this is one of those ironic moments where, again, I told you that the Lord has a funny way of working, and this is going to prove my point about intuition just now. Intuitively, I knew that for some reason I had to go and watch the movie Wicked, right? Which my ex-Christian brain, would have been like, I can't go and watch this heathen movie. But something inside me felt like I needed to go and watch it. And it's kind of funny because the phrase flying monkey actually comes from The Wizard of Oz. Isn't that crazy? From the flying monkeys that are created in the show. And I have never seen Wicked, Wizard of Oz. I wasn't allowed to watch those things growing up. So watching Wicked was my first ever exposure to any part of the Wizard of Oz story. So when I had my little intuitive moment of like, a lot of other movies I didn't necessarily feel like I should go and watch, Wicked I knew I had to watch as soon as I knew that it was going to be coming out at some point. I didn't know why. And a lot of revelations, a lot of things have come as a result of that have actually, led me closer to where the Lord wants me to be. Just on the notes of intuition, it's just interesting, isn't it? How people will talk you out of intuition. It's like, but for some reason, I feel like I'm supposed to be there. You know what I mean? And so it comes from there. It's the flying monkeys. And again, I saw the flying monkeys being made. It's interesting how, because now I have a visual of what that actually looks like, right? Because in the movie, I've also now looked into the original books as well now, because I'm curious for another reason that we'll talk about in another type of series that's going to be nothing like this one. Or another types of videos. But one thing that I found fascinating in the movie, Elphaba does a spell from the Grimoire to turn the monkeys into flying monkeys, because apparently the wizard says to her that his monkey is sad. He was always watching the birds. He'd love to fly, right? And so she tries to do a spell to give the monkey wings. And then she does from the Grimoire, and then unfortunately, all the monkeys end up getting these wings. It's a very painful process for them. And she kind of has mixed feelings about it, whatever. But now that they can fly, this all backfires because, of course, the flying monkeys are under the control of the wizard. Right? So when she now decides to go against the wizard, right? Of course, who does he send to attack her? The flying monkeys. Right, the flying monkeys, and to do the work, because obviously the wizard doesn't even have power, right? Which is another interesting thing about a lot of these leaders, a lot of these cult leaders, even church leaders, whether that be priests, whether that be whatever, they don't have that much power. A lot of times they have to utilize, their own body as the flying monkeys. You see that happening when you see even outside of this cultish behavior. You see with a lot of things that happen. Even in quote unquote Christian circles, where a leader will be called out for doing something or alleged to do something, and the congregation, the flying monkeys that are idolizing these men who are very much fallible, or women, will swoop in to defend, to be like, oh no, there's no way that this person did this, there's no way that that's true, there's no way that this, to defend them or to attack you. What about you and what your life is looking like? The leader doesn't have to do anything. And when I realized that this concept, which I only understood because of that video by Dr. Ramani, that's why I said to myself, I'm going to upload the video as it is, because I'm not going to bother to try and summarize what she said. She coined it perfectly. And I feel like people should just watch what she said, right? I hope she doesn't think I'm copywriting it. I'm not trying to take any money from it. You guys know I'm not trying to make money on YouTube. I guess maybe because I feel like as soon the day I think about making money on YouTube, one day is the day that I'm no longer myself. So this lady was essentially saying, and I believe that this happens across the board in a lot of ways. I believe this happens in a lot of ways because because like we've seen it all the time, that people swoop in to try and defend somebody, or it'll even be the classic, well, even if they are, it's like, if it's somebody that people don't like. This is something I've critiqued a lot about, the Christian community, as you guys will know, is that when it's somebody that you don't like, they don't like, right? It's, oh, we're pointing fingers at them. We're quick to we knew there was something, like people with me, for example. If I found out, if anything comes out about me, there's going to be 100,000 of people, not 100,000, that's extreme. There's going to be loads of people that are going to jump in and be like, we knew it. We knew all along. This will be before I've even been charged for anything. They'll be running as if like they knew this. their leader, who they idolize, who they are, who they worship, the way that they're supposed to be worshiping God, something comes out about them, and then it's, oh, we gotta wait. Let's have grace. Let's have grace and understanding, and let's wait till we get the judicial process. So now even us who are supposed to be believers and have our own way of dealing with our own things are now relying on the judicial process of the world to prove to you, this man of God, where is your discernment? Where is your what? Intuition. Exactly, because the flying monkeys have also been taught to go against their intuition. They've also had their intuition trampled all over, hence why we have the problem in the church of the Holy Spirit, right? Because we either have the airy fairy spirituals, or all just like, I love Jesus so much, and if you can just feel the Spirit of God just touching your face, and when you come to his, like, and I'm for that, don't get me wrong, I'm for being in the presence of God, but I'm like, there has to be a point where that experience, that spiritual experience, is leading to something. And to me, that's where intuition comes into it. To me, it's having the intuition to know this person is dodgy. Don't let this person around your child, or don't trust this, or don't do that. Not just, oh, I'm having a lovely, beautiful experience as if I've just taken mushrooms in the presence of God, that's all completely self-serving for myself so that I can feel good and I can get a little hit of dopamine and have a little drunken high experience on a Sunday morning. No, we're supposed to be so that when we're out there and we're dealing with counterfeits and we're coming across these vicious types of people trying to swoop us in and scoop us into the things that they're doing, we have the intuition we have the Holy Spirit telling us, you need to not be here. You need to not be here. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing I find fascinating. And it's, again, something that's very much more on the side of femininity, and like for us as women, you know, being women. And again, that's one thing that, again, is a huge weakness in dealing with these types of misogynistic types of leaders, because they're just going to throw it back in our face. Like, oh, you know, the classic question of like, it's like, oh, you're on your period. Oh, forget it then. Or whatever you're thinking and whatever you're feeling, it's only because of your period. Like, there's no chances anything. Oh, you feel like such and such. Oh, it's because you're pregnant. Oh, we're just going to write off everything that's happening to you because you're pregnant. You're just pregnant, and you just shut up. Come back when you're not pregnant. It's like this. First of all, our hormones are a roller coaster all month round. I just like to add, all month round. I just like to give that as a news for anybody that didn't know of the male variety, right? And second of all, that's such ugly behavior, because actually, you know, anyway, we're going to come to that, because there's a whole section that these women were talking about their experience with their wombs and whatever, but you guys get the gist. Like, it's actually quite easy to just disregard our intuition and get us to ignore red flags, because we're already going to be, especially if there's men in the room and they're those kinds of men, it's so easy they just write off, oh, you're just in your feelings. Oh, you're just having feelings. Oh, feelings. Okay. But if those feelings are protecting your child, oh, maybe I bet you'd want to have those feelings and intuition. If those feelings are helping you stop, you know, getting in the wrong business deal, I bet you'd want to know about those feelings. Those feelings are the reason why I recognize that something was off with you before you did yourself, and it actually saved your damn life. Maybe you should be happy about those feelings, right? But no, you know, a lot of guys, you know, a lot of men do appreciate it as well. But I'm just saying that this is why this type of stuff works. This is probably one of the best ways, you know, to then be like, you know what, I know you might be thinking that there's some things you don't understand, but it could just be your feelings. Feelings, right? I think I'm going to leave that there. Yes, I'm going to leave that there, and then we're going to continue on to the next part. But yeah, the flying monkeys, they're there. They don't even have to be asked to work. They do the work. But anyways, we'll leave it there. And I'll see you guys in part, I guess that's going to be part 7. It's going to be such a long series, but the videos are all kind of short-ish. Short for me. Anyways, guys, if life's a game is pay to win, I'll see you in part 7. We're going to start talking about, you know, the other reasons of how the intuition has scooped people in, things to do with the attractiveness of things being a bit of a slow burner, the strategies. There's a lot of really interesting strategies, and there's some also other interesting topics to come up as well, like menstruation, pregnancy, being expected to suffer for the sake of whatever, and why you do that. There's a lot more to come, so buckle up and stay tuned, because if life's game was played to win, God bless you all. God loves you. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.